Management at Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, Vadodara. He also holds the additional responsibility of Assistant Director for the Postgraduate Diploma in Strategic Human Resource Management. He also served as the Assistant Director of the BBA program within the Faculty of Commerce. In his early career, he served as an assistant professor and in charge vice principal at D.R.B. Patel Commerce College and Nirman Institute of Management, Surat, affiliated with Veer Narmad, South Gujarat University, Gujarat, India. With over 2 decades of experience, including 4 years in the corporate sector, with prominent organizations such as HUL, ICICI, and Kotak Group in manager roles, Dr. Patel brings a wealth of expertise to his academic endeavors. He holds a PhD and MPhil in management and a postgraduate diploma in research methodology. He also cleared the UGC NET management and is currently guiding 4 PhD scholars under his ABLE mentorship. Additionally, he has co-authored several books and contributed significantly to academia. He actively provides consultancy in marketing. He has presented his research work internationally in Taiwan and Singapore and actively participated in faculty development programs, seminar, conference, and workshops. His academic contributions includes more than 50 research papers published in UGC Cares, Scopus, Web of Science, peer-reviewed journals, and edited books. He has participated in over 40 academic events and has earned 3 Best Paper Awards at international and national conference, as well as a 3rd place Best Project Presentation Award. Dr. Baxis Patel is certified in SPSS from VNSJU, Introduction to Managerial Economics from IIM Bangalore, Basic of TQM from Tata Steel Capability, Building e-learning platform, and Digital Marketing from Global Sync Business School. He served on the additional editorial board and reviewing panel of prominent international journals and frequently invited as a resource person and session chair at national conference, seminars, and FDP. Believing in empowering minds through knowledge and fostering innovations and nurturing excellence for a better tomorrow. So thank you once again, sir, for accepting our request. And now, without wasting any time, we'll request Patel, sir, to start the session.
Okay. Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So at the outset, I would like to thank, first of all, the V.K. Krishna Menon College of Commerce and Economics and Sharad Shankar B.K. College of Science and P.A. Menon College of Management, their authorities and trustees of this trust, Panduk Education Societies, for inviting me here on this platform to interact with research scholars from different domains of the society as well as education. I would also like to mention my thanks to Krishna sir, who always have been in touch with me whenever they organize such event. They call me, invite me to interact with the talent that we are nurturing for future. So thank you very much for inviting me here. And before I begin my session, please can you brief me the type of audience that we are having today?
Sir, overall, we have 525 participants from all over India.
Okay.
And we even have a participants from Nepal also.
Okay.
So overall, you can say, sir, we have assistant professor, assistant teacher, associate professors. We have a librarian, research scholars around 200. So like that, sir, we have participants from all over India, comprises of around 525 participants, sir.
Okay, very good, wonderful. So before I wind up my session, if I forget, then let me congratulate you to
Thank you,
having
sir.
such a vast audience from across the nation as well as from our neighboring countries as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. This is just because this allow me to uh, present myself before the audience. So I think now today we are going to have a bit interactive session, and that too, looking at the audience, I think we need to deal in only English language, right? Anyone from the audience, is my voice is reaching to you? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Just a minute. Okay. Is my screen visible to you? Hello? Can anyone? Through chat box. Okay, okay, fine. Got that, got that. So maximum will interact with the chat box. Fine. So today we are going to see brief overview on SPSS. I'll introduce SPSS with my own perspective, with my own learning, with my own thoughts. You might have experienced SPSS earlier as well. Even you might have used as well. But there are some of the aspects that we may consider while we use SPSS, and that's all we are going to see today. And in between, I don't know, Krishna sir, uh, can we handle query at the later stage of the presentation, or during presentation only we can handle the query?
Sir, as per your wish, I think the participants go on putting their queries in the chat box.
Okay, so are they allowed to open or unmute their mic?
No, sir, only through the chat box, sir.
Okay, fine, got that. So in case of any query, I need to check chat box as well. So no issue. So let's begin with the SPSS. So is my screen moving? Slide number 2. Okay, so these are some of the prerequisites. That's why I'm asking. Fine, thank you. Thank you for a response. This is not day one. This is my earlier index, that's why. So today we are going to see about what is analysis. No doubt you have seen so far for so many days you are attending this uh, capacity building program, and hence you must be aware about what is analysis and all. Then also with a viewpoint of my knowledge and all, I'm going to briefly focus on what is analysis. Thereafter, we'll move on to IBM, SPSS, their interface, and thereafter, there are some pre-tasks that we are going to see in terms of conceptual clarity, because before we use any software, some sort of technical words should be understood by the audience or the user. For that regard, I have used this pre-task, and thereafter hands-on on IBM SPSS. We all, if you are comfortable to install and perform several tasks, then we'll do it together. Otherwise, I will demonstrate some of the functions of SPSS today. Fine. So, analysis and interpretation. Merely data is not sufficient to understand any phenomenon. Unless we work on data, we cannot come to know about what is happening, what has happened, what had happened, and what is going to happen. So, if we want to convert this data into some meaningful information, then we have to analyze it. So that is nothing but the analysis of data is the process of transformation of data into meaningful picture or the meaningful information that allow us to know various useful conclusions. Finding conclusions from the analyzed data is known as the interpretation of data as well, because unless you analyze, you cannot interpret and you cannot conclude. So to understand various phenomena, we need to analyze data thoroughly, meaningfully, thoughtfully, in line with the objective that we are carrying in our research. There are different types of data, primary and secondary. In both type of data, we may use analysis, as you know, by the time you have attended this session. By this time, I think you are aware about the various things. There are two types of analysis, mainly descriptive and inferential. So SPSS will allow us to analyze both these types of data. It will allow us to have descriptive analysis as well as inferential analysis as well. Descriptive analysis tells us about a particular phenomenon under study, their characteristics only, but we cannot infer sample statistics from the descriptive statistics on population parameter. So in your study, say for example, if you have taken any small sample and you want to generalize it on your population, so that is what? Inferencing your sample statistics on population parameter, there you require inferential analysis. So SPSS allows us to have this inferential statistics as well. Now, this is a very brief about analysis and why we need to perform analysis and what are different types of in brief analysis. There may be different categories of it as well, but looking at this platform, I have included these two. Now, what is IBM SPSS? As you can see, one logo at the right top corner. You may find this type of logo on your laptop once you install, or on your PC once you install your IBM SPSS. There may be a different version. You may have 16, 17, 18, or nowadays 20, 23, 4. I don't know the latest version they are having today, but that you may find with this logo, blue color logo denoted for SPSS. So SPSS is a comprehensive statistical software package. The full form of SPSS is Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. One thing from this package is sure that in most of these social sciences, we may use this SPSS. In pure science, medical, as they are having different assumptions and their tests are big different as compared to social science, there is some lack. Otherwise, for social science, you may use this SPSS. Even business, healthcare, and education, even you may use this SPSS. It provides a range of tools for data management, statistical analysis, and data visualization as well. So as you have already seen that we may use it for data management. So SPSS offers robust features for managing data, including importing, cleaning, transforming, and organizing data set. Because when we collect data from the market, we need to store them on several platforms or certain platform. You may have this option as well for storing your data. Once you store your data, Once you put them in appropriate form, thereafter you need to clean your data. That is removing any outliers, any missing values. So for cleaning purpose also, you may use this SPSS. Thereafter, it is mentioned that transforming. It means you may transform your data from larger scale to smaller scale as well, and sometimes from categorical data to interval class data as well. So in that again, this SPSS is very much helpful in organizing data set. Users can manipulate variables, record data, merge data sets, and perform other data management tasks effectively on this platform. Even you can make templates even on variables. Usually in day-to-day life, this use is very much limited to the experts of this field. This involves specifying the characteristics of each variable, such as the name, type, measurement label, value labels, and variable labels. So in that particular template, you simply need to place your data, and rest is up to your skill. So templates again we can make in SPSS. In case of data entry or store observation, you may use this SPSS. You may analyze. Most of the cases we use SPSS for data analysis. So for analyzing simple as well as complex analysis, even you may go up to part analysis level 1, level 2 as well with this SPSS, and extended version of SPSS. And even this will be, this is a useful tool for presentation or visualization of your data in terms of tables and graphs. So with the help of SPSS, you may generate singular table, multivariate tables, various charts, histogram, scatter plot diagram, pie chart, and other visualizations also. So, and that you may again place in your research work, in your research document, whether it be paper or thesis or project. So, this is about the SPSS brief introduction. Now, once you install the SPSS in your laptop or device, and when you click on the logo or when you search it on your PC, the very first dialog box opens is data view or variable view after clicking yes or proceed. So you may find usually different types of windows in your SPSS. And they are very much, the functions, the features they have shown, they are very much incorporated in their windows. So the first is data view and variable view you may find in the very first window of SPSS. So as you can see, image given on the right hand, in that particular column, they are variables. In that, you can place your data. And the active cell is highlighted with yellow color. The active set, as you can see here at somewhere, okay, here, as you can see, data view and variable view. Two views are given same as this. Data view and variable. So whatever template preparation I have told you earlier, template preparation. we may prepare our template in this variable view window. And data view window allow us to enter our data either manually, or you can simply copy and paste your data from Excel or other form of these worksheets, or you may import your data directly from Excel to this SPSS window. But in that, you require some pre-work to do. You are required to perform some pre-work to do. So usually what I do when I use SPSS, I simply copy and paste my data from Excel to SPSS. It takes some time, but it is easier way when you want to define your variable in SPSS itself. So how we can define that again, we are going to see today. Okay. The another window that pops up bit later when you perform any task, that is output window. Usually output window has two sections, as you can see here. The first is output outline, and second is the larger portion of this window is output section. So here, as you can see, a tree diagram is automatically generated once you click on certain functions with these options given on this window. Even on this window, or even here in this primary window, you may have different options. So whatever you want to perform, the analysis comes on this output view window. You may find charts as well here, you may find tables as well here, right? And later on you may edit tables the charts as well. So this is the output window. If you don't want this output window, then simply you may shut it down or close it down as well. It will not hinder your work with your first primary window. As and when you click on the next analysis, the new output window may pop up with output result. And if you wish to save your work, then by clicking on file or this floppy disk type of icon, you can save as well this output. So if you want to run several analyses, say for example, t-test, ANOVA, chi-square, then at the first stage, you may run t-test. You may have all its tables in one output. You may save it and close it with the name of t-test. With the same data set, if you wish to run ANOVA test, then you may have ANOVA test, save ANOVA test output in second output view, close it. So you may have two different output windows now available with you. T-test, your entire tables, set of tables will be there in that output, and in another output you may find ANOVA. So likewise, you may perform various tests, various analyses, and save them with different outputs as well with respective name. So this is the best feature this SPSS has. Now, as I have shown you this data view, this is where you view and enter your actual data. It displays your data in a spreadsheet-like format, as you can see in Excel. Likewise, here you can see spreadsheet. Each row represents an individual unit. It means, say for example, if you are using a questionnaire, then first row here, first row represents number one or first respondent. Whatever responses you have received from number one respondent, or say for example, questioner number one, then they are arranged in first row. So first row represents first respondent of the sample. And likewise, if you have 50, yeah, 500, yeah, 1500 samples, you may have that particular row number as the respondent number. Nowadays, with the with the invent of technology, we may get our data into Excel-like spreadsheets, and that directly can be incorporated in this uh, data view window. Right? One can directly enter data as well, or you may import. Data view allow you to manipulate, clean, and analyze data. Once you enter your data in data view window, you may eliminate, you may clear, you may delete, you may edit it as well. The second level view in the first primarily window is variable view. In variable view, we need to set different variables according to our either questionnaire. Why I'm telling questionnaire? Because in most of the cases for primary data analysis, this SPSS is very much useful, but it does not mean it is not allowing secondary data. No doubt, it is equally important for secondary data analysis as well. The platform is very much useful for secondary data analysis as well. But whatever secondary data you choose, that is with pre-specified names. So that either pre-specified names can serve the purpose of variable, or even when you design your questionnaire, the questionnaire carries various variables. All those variables we need to define in SPSS. So variable view provides information about the variables in your data set. Here you define and modify characteristics of variables. How can we do so? I'll demonstrate later on. So in that you may find name, types of variable, label of variable, values of label or variable, sorry. And the most important is measure of variable. Why this measure of variable is important? Because if you place a particular measure variable, it allows you to perform a specific set of analysis only. So that we'll see when I'll demonstrate this variable measurement. Next is output view. In output view, as I have told you earlier, that every output will get on output view window with two different sections. So SPSS generates tables, charts, and graphs that summarize data and analysis results as well. One can review, interpret, and export the output for further reporting or analysis. So simply you may copy and paste even tables and chart from output window to Word file. As we know, usually select, right click, copy, and then paste at the destination place. So that again is very much easy here with SPSS. Simply with the right click, you may copy and paste at the designated place. So this is a very brief about SPSS software and its interface. I hope you don't have any query. If you have any query, then you may ask. So I think there is no query. Any query? Okay, so I think there is no query. So let's move ahead. Okay. After understanding this SPSS interface briefly, now let's have some pre-task. This is nothing but we need to understand some of the aspects of analysis and research. So these terms, variables, scales, questionnaire, pre-coding are required to understand before we start our data collection. Most of you in this audience, most of you have already done your master's, then PhD, MPhil even. So mostly you know, but this is for those who have not started their research journey as to obtain their degree, or even at the on the part of achieving their research degree. This may be quite helpful to have. So, what is variable? Before we jump onto the variable term, there are three terms in research, that is concept, constructs, and operational definitions. So usually concept is a word having some meaning. Constructs are a combination or sometimes a word even or a concept. So combination of concept or a concept which explains a particular phenomenon which is very much abstract in nature, then that is regarded as a construct. And the way we measure it or the way we understand it, the elaboration, explanation is known as the operational definition. So when it comes to variable, there are different types of variables. We have learned independent, dependent, moderating, extraneous, intervening variables. So in our data set or in our questionnaire, we may find numbers of variables with which we deal. And usually we analyze our data for, on, and with the help of these variables. So these are some of the examples of variables. Okay, types of skills. May I know what are different types of skills? Primary skills of measurement. Can anyone? Okay, there is one question. Sir, can you explain concept, construct again? Okay, I'll explain. Okay, very good. Chandrabhan ji. Ordinal, nominal, interval, ratio. Nirja Chawla ji, very good. So, yes, before I come back on these types of scale, there is one question raised by Jyoti Koshji. Concept, constructs. See, every single word has some meaning. So every individual's word serve a purpose of concept that has its own meaning. For an example, night. Night has its own meaning. Okay. Thereafter, market. Market has its own meaning. So in research, when your guide says explain the construct, so for that, you need to understand the concept first. Construct is made up of concepts. Sometimes individual concept may be regarded as a construct. of the title. And sometimes you may find combination of concept. Just say, like I have told you, night means it has own meaning, and market, it has its own meaning. If I want to explain one phenomenon, or I want to describe one abstract phenomenon, that is a market that takes place at the time of night only, after 8 up to 12 noon, then for that particular setup, I may use night market. So night market is now my construct, right? So with the help of that particular concept, you may develop construct. And the way you measure it, the way you see it, the explanation of it is known as operational definition. For an example, house arrest or digital arrest. When we were child, we hadn't heard about this term, digital arrest. Nowadays, we have heard or we are hearing this digital arrest. Means digitally, they are allowing you to be on video or on digital platform. That is what? Digital, one concept, arrest, another concept. When you combine this together, that becomes one construct, that is digital arrest. So I hope now you are clear about the term concept and construct. Okay, thank you for the response. Now, scale. So as audience has said, there are 4 primary skills that we need to understand before we start our study. Because some of the scale won't allow us to analyze in detail. You cannot run each and every type of test on each and every type of scale that you use in your questionnaire. So before you begin with your questionnaire, and sometimes with secondary data as well, before you begin with it, you need to understand what sort of scale is required to perform what type of analysis, and that will allow me to answer my research question. So those who have already done their PhD or published so many research papers, they know this, what is scale, right? But those who are very much beginner in this field, there are usually 4 types of scales, as we have already seen in our chat box: nominal, ordinal, and interval. So here, this scale means the numbers that we are using or the variables that we are taking in our data set. So when any number serves as an identification purpose only, or when any number serves identity of the particular variable, and that number is regarded as the nominal scale. Because in statistics, we need to place numbers. Most often, we use numbers as a code. And that's why I'm using this word number to explain this scale. For an example, a number printed on the Virat Kohli's t-shirt, 18 number, or Rohit Sharma's t-shirt, 45 number. That number does not convey any meaning. We cannot say Virat Kohli is a bit lower than the Rohit Sharma, as Rohit Sharma's t-shirt number is 45 and Virat Kohli's t-shirt number is 18. It is just for their identification purpose only. Same as the roll number, as we use in our institute, 1 to 10. Here 1 does not mean inferior or superior in any matter as compared to other roll numbers. But that number serves only identification. In our questionnaire as well, there are so many variables that falls in this category, nominal. Like when we ask demographic variables like male, female, job categories like manager, technician, clerk, or even marital status, and etc. So, right? nominal scale. The second level, one step ahead than the nominal scale, that is ordinal scale. Okay. With nominal scale, you cannot run most of the analysis techniques. You can only use chart or frequency tables and mode, I guess. With I don't know whether mode, you cannot use mode even, right? With some of the scattered number in case of nominals. But in case of your male female gender, you may run mode as well. That's fine. Mode is most frequently occurring value. So that is nothing but the chart. In that chart, the maximum percentage is male or female whatsoever. So that is ordinal is one step ahead than the nominal in that number represents a particular order or sequence based on the characteristics or quality that particular object or variable possesses. For an example, top 5 students of last year, top 5. So we can say that number 1 has earned highest marks as compared to the rest of the students. Number 2 has earned highest marks as compared to third, fourth, and fifth, but less as compared to first. So such type of order can be known with the help of ordinal scale. But we cannot measure the exact difference between categories or between objects. For an example, the rank first, second, third, fourth, fifth provides us only the place of their marks earned. But these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not enough to know the difference between their marks. So ordinal scale has certain limitations that we cannot measure the exact difference in their opinion. But yes, we can measure the place difference with ordinal scale. Right. In our questionnaire or even in secondary data as well, we may use several ordinal scales in which we start with the lowest and reach at the highest level. It may be your education level, it may be your income level, or it may be your age level, etc. Can be considered as ordinal scale. Now, thereafter, there are two categories here, interval and ratio. And in SPSS, we are going to define our measures as a scale. And that's why it is very much important to understand in which this particular question number 7 or 8 or 9, which measure I should place, whether I should place nominal or ordinal or ratio may. For an example, interval and ratio in SPSS, these both scales are regarded as ratio only because interval scale is theoretically different. Otherwise, they may serve the same purpose. Then question may arise, what is the difference between this interval and ratio scale and how these two scales are different than the earlier scales? So, if you want to measure any object or any phenomenon with exact quantum, then you may use either interval or ratio scale. Now, exact quantum means what? Say, for example, top 5 students, first, second, third, fourth, fifth ranks, but how many marks they have scored? So when we focus on marks they have scored or earned, say for example, out of 800, 750, 745, 639, or 798, then these marks are now regarded as either interval or ratio. At present, I am not clarifying this. Later on, you may clarify whether marks is interval or ratio. once I explain these two. Right? So when we get exact quantum, how many students are there in the class? So for example, 0, then no, 5, then 5. So when we get exact numbers of measurement, then they are regarded as either interval or ratio. Now, what's the difference between interval and ratio then? In interval scale, our 0 point is arbitrary 0. And from 0, both the way is possible, positive and negative even. Like temperature. At 0 degree temperature, we measure certain temperature, but that level of temperature is regarded as 0 level temperature. If you move up from that particular temperature, then positive. If you move down, then negative temperature. But here, that 0 point, 0 does not mean absence of temperature. But that level we have regarded as 0. Now, if I ask, how do you rate my lecture? 0 is neutral, -1 is dissatisfied, and -2 is highly dissatisfied, 1 is satisfied, and 2 is satisfied. How do you rate my lecture? Can anyone simply 1, 2, 3, 5 post a chat box? Okay, thank you. So when you have said 2, it means there is some thought process. Someone has said 1, very good. We want variety of inputs. Someone has said 1, very good. So it means for the same content, someone has said 3, very good. So when the same content is delivered to the same audience, but they are perceiving it in a different way, it means they are assuming something in their mind, and based on their assumption, they are rating my lecture. So what is this? Here we are taking our opinion based on some assumptions that we receive or that we perceive from the opponent. Intervals. Okay. So here, thank you for your response, everyone. So here, interval scale, we get numbers based on the measurement even, but that measurements are based on some assumptions. On the other end, the last one is ratio scale. So ratio gives us the exact picture. For example, how many participants are there today at present? So we may get the exact numbers. What is the amount of money is there in your bank account? We may get the exact numbers. What is your weight? What is your height? We may get the exact numbers without having any assumptions or arbitrary in nature. So there we may use ratios. So I hope the difference between these two scales you might have learned or understood. Now, why this important? Why these skills are important to understand? It is just because in SPSS we need to choose whether our data is of nominal in nature or ordinal in nature or interval or ratio in nature. For these two, they have given only one option, that is ratio or scale. They have mentioned scale. So that means. So in most of the cases in primary data collection, we use questionnaire, but there are so many techniques to collect primary data. I just wanted to show this a sample questionnaire that usually we use in our survey. This is a pre-coded questionnaire. You may find course for options on scale: excellent, good, fair, poor, and can't rate. Scales are given. Now, when we use such type of scales in our questionnaire, we need to be careful. I have selected this questionnaire purposefully. If you see here, the codes which are assigned to these scales are inverse in nature. It means someone has to give 5 for excellent, 4 for good, fair for 3, it's fine, 2 for poor, and 1 for can't say or very poor. Because usually in SPSS, when we run either mean or even sometimes correlation, if you have taken one scale of this nature and another scale of reverse in nature, then result may be totally different as it is actually happening in the reality. So whenever you prepare your questionnaire, always take scales with appropriate quantum. So for pre-coded questionnaire, whatever scales we have used, the same scales and variable or pre-coding we may use in SPSS entry. So simply coding is assigning numbers for SPSS because we avoid, or usually I avoid to use certain alphabets in pre-coding or even in coding in SPSS. It allows to enter numbers at certain places. So that's why usually we use numbers for codes in SPSS. So some sort of background is required before we jump on the statistics of this SPSS statistics. That's why I thought to incorporate these topics in my presentation. So if you have any query, then you may ask. So far, any query? Okay, so no query, fine. Okay, so I hope my screen is still visible to you. Let's start with okay, let's start with SPSS. Before we move on to the hands-on, let's have some basic images of windows of SPSS. This is how we may enter new data set directly. If we are having Excel of data set, then we may choose new data set. When you click it for the first time, this type of dialog box may open or pops up. So you may choose new data set, click here, then OK. Then the new data set window opens. This is the columns. Usually we place our variables. Whatever records we have taken, we place them here in these columns. So this is for variable. The row of SPSS window, I have already told you earlier that this row represents the individual responses and they are regarded as the cases. So if you are having 50 sample size, then you may find number up to 50 in rows only. Right? And if you have 10 questions, for an example, then you may find 10 columns are activated. Okay? 10 different questions values in it. At the bottom of this window, down the left, you may find two views. The very first one is data view. So whatever you find at present on your screen, that all we can see on this active window, that is data view window only. The other window is variable view window. In this, you need to click. If you wish to jump on this variable view window, then you need to click on this window. On clicking on this window, the under window comes on the screen, that is variable view window. The first column in it is name. Here, if you are using questionnaire, then simply you may place name of your question or question number. If you use secondary data, then you may use a particular name given by the dataset generator. But one thing we need to take care here, it does not allow space or any special characters. Thereafter, the second column, that is type. There are so many different types available here. We are going to see them when practically I'll show you. Time, date. In most of the cases here, we may choose between numeric or string. So with the given data set, if you are using combination of alphabets and numbers, likewise our PAN card, PAN, it's a combination of alphabets and numbers, then you may use string. Or if your data only captures numbers, then you may use numeric. It does not allow strongly agree to strongly agree, strongly disagree type of responses directly to be analyzed without having coding on it. You may have charts or frequency table, but the hypothesis testing factor analysis requires coding of such type of skills. So that we'll see later. So when you pre-code or when you use code for such type of scales in your data set, then for that usually we use numerical type of data. Thereafter, next is the width that you want to take for your data, how many digits you want to enter in a particular cell. By default, it's 8. You may reduce it up to your desired level. Thereafter, decimal. That is, if we require our data set to be in decimal number, in most of the cases for secondary data, you may use this decimal. Otherwise, for questionnaire, usually we keep it 0, decimals 0. The next is important one, label. Here we are going to place exact label for the name, question 1. So for example, if you are asking age of the respondent with question number 1, then simply you may write age, or if you have taken what is your age question, then you may place that question directly here. So whatever questions you have prepared, all these questions you may place here in this column one by one, question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Okay. Now these questions will reflect on this variable name. Say for example, if I use this name as the label of first variable, then later on this will be renamed as age. This first column will be renamed as age. Right? Fine. So this is for the label. The another important column is value. So that we'll see in the next slide. And the last one that is important even for this, I would say very much important for this SPSS, that is measures. Whatever skills we have understood earlier, in measures, we need to fix them. Whether a particular question number 1, is of nominal in nature, ordinal in nature, interval or ratio in nature. Based on that, appropriately, we need to choose from the drop-down menu. When you click on this, the drop-down menu will be open. Okay. Now, again, it's the same window, variable view. If you look at this column, it has value as the column heading. When you click on this column, this type of small window pops up. No, not that one. Whatever you have drawn, it's not that. This type of window will pops up. And then, for an example, male and female, this is a nominal scale, male and female. If you change number 1 for male and 2 for female, if you are using this, and if you change the number 1 is for female and 2 is for male, then again it's fine here. There is no issue because this falls under nominal scale. So when you click on this variable view, a variable cell, this type of small window pops up, and then you need to enter value, that is the code that we are using for a particular option. In case of gender, 1 for male, enter them and click on add button. Once you click on add button, once you click on, just a minute. Okay. My eraser is not working. Eraser. Okay, fine. So now here, you need to place code in value and the option that you have placed in label, and thereafter simply you need to add. On entering this value to these value labels, you may find your coded data has been entered into the data set. Not only the data, sorry, the values for that particular question has been set. This is for first question if you are asking them about their gender. If you want to import your data from Excel, say for example, if your Excel file is ready, then you may import your data like this. You may click on select the file, thereafter open and data. On that, you may find a small window again pops up. Choose the Excel file that you want to enter on SPSS and then click open here. Click open. By doing so, you may find your data is now imported on SPSS. Now, clean data after importing. Once we import our data in SPSS, thereafter we clean it. That is what we need to check for whether we have missed any entry or whether is there any outlier is there or not. So that is clean data after import. Now, once you enter your data, thereafter you need to clean it and then you may opt for various types of reports or various types of analysis. So you may find one analyze tab on the very top ribbon of this window besides transform. So in analyze, you may find numbers of analysis techniques, statistical tools are given. And whatever statistical techniques we use in primary data analysis or secondary data analysis, you may find almost all of them here in some advanced version or in earlier version, you may find this set of statistics or the test may be a bit different of this. Okay. So once you enter your data, then if you click on the report, in report, you may choose case summaries. So in case summaries, it gives us how many respondents are there for all questions. Have they captured all records? Yes, then 100%. So this is what case process summary can be generated. Same way with the different variables. Now, basic statistical analysis, descriptive statistics that will allow us to find wrong entries, even outliers, we may find out with the help of descriptive statistics. It may allow us to have basic knowledge about sample and targeted variables in this study. And it allows us to have summarized data as well. So for qualitative variables, usually if you have incorporated them with the various scales in the data set, then you may have various descriptive analysis as well. Click on analyze, then descriptive, and then frequencies. A small window pops up. So here we have entered, say for example, these many variables plus these variables all 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5. It's a 9 variable data set. For out of 9 variable data set, if we want to run frequency analysis only for 5 these variables, then simply we need to click on the variable here in this window and thereafter on this arrow. This arrow is at present reverse. because these variables have already been entered in this window. If you want to move this service from this variables window to original window, then you may select service and then click on this arrow. You may find your services is here. Same way, if you want to add age from this original window to variable window, then you may find this arrow is reversed, then you may click on this arrow. You may find your age variable is in next window. So thereafter, I'll demonstrate you how to use the statistics chart format and even this ticked option, that is display frequency tables. So once you set all parameters on this analysis, then you may find such type of table on output window. As you can see, for sex or gender, it's 1 and 2 mentioned here. It is just because in this data set, they may not have set the value. They have only entered 1 for either male or female, or 2 for either male or female again. So that's why it is very much important to define values before you run any analysis. Say, for example, if they have defined their value as 1 for male and 2 for female, then instead of this 1 and 2, you may find male and female. The numbers will be replaced by that particular label. And same for the rest of the tables and even in charts as well. For quantitative variables, again, if you want to run descriptive analysis, then for quantitative data that are very much in ratio or interval type, then you may run number of analysis on it. This is one of the example, descriptive analysis. If you wish to run, then you may choose analyze, descriptive statistics, and in that descriptive option choose. For chart, we have chart builder again. So you may click on graphs. It will allow you to have different types of graphs, histogram, box plots. So these are some of the utilities of SPSS. Now there are some few more tasks we may perform on SPSS. We may recode the variable in SPSS. That is what? Say, for example, if you have used 7 rating scale for one question, and for next question, if you have used 5 rating scale, then either you may reduce the scale or you may increase the scale. First option is quite viable, second option is not viable. So what you can do here, you can reduce 7 rating scale into 5 rating scale. So how it's possible? As you have entered your data with 7 rating scale, already it is there in your data set. Then there is one facility given in the SPSS that you may recode your data. For a particular range, you may set a specific value. For an example, if you wish to convert your 7 rating scale into 5 rating scale, then you may consider your central point as the neutral point. Thereafter, the last 2 extremes points. 1 and 2 can be considered as 1, and on the other end 6 and 7 can be considered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for example, if you have used the 7 rating scale, and if you wish to convert it into 5 rating scale, then what you can do, you can club these two and rate it as a 1, this as a 2, this as a 3, 5 as a 4, and again you will club these to 5. So for now, this task, Ajitesh Nagra, you are disturbing my screen, please. Kindly handle your screen carefully. Okay, so here we can transform our scale from 7 rating to 5 rating in SPSS itself. So there is one option where we may place the range for option 1 and 2. I want to keep only 1. For 3, I want to keep 2. For 4, I want to keep 3. For 5, I want to keep 4. And for 6 and 7, I want to place 5. Then simply in SPSS, you need to place these digits at appropriate place. Later on, SPSS will transform your scale into newer scale. So this thing can be possible in SPSS. From here, how can we find wrong values? Put in columns from descriptives. So in descriptives, you may find outliers. Outliers allow us to know if you have scatter plot diagram. In the scatter plot diagram, again, you may find if dots are very much nearer, it means there is no outliers. You may find few dots are very much far from the bunch of dots, then they are outliers. So this is how you may identify the wrong entries or missing entries even. How to fix outliers? Simply after identifying outliers in different statistical techniques, you may have trim means. If you wish to trim 5%, 2% higher and lower values from your data set, then that can be done while computing mean or measures of central tendency. And if you can locate the outliers, you may revisit your target respondents. And by doing so, if you can eliminate that outliers, then you may actually eliminate that outliers if they are false in nature. Okay. Okay. Now we may compute variables as well. If we want, say for example, mean or percentage sometimes from a particular data set given by a responder, then you may compute in Excel itself. If you want to add them, if you want to subtract one column from the another column, then again that task that can be done in SPSS. So compute variable is again possible in SPSS. So this is all about the theoretical aspect of SPSS. If you have any doubt here, then you may ask. Uh, there is one question. If we compute in logs, say to make it normal, does it affect the result? Usually we want to normalize our data set, and that's why we use logs in our analysis. So the reason for which you have computed your data with logs, if you don't bother about that, then you may go with normal case. Otherwise, why you have used these logs? So simply in order to eliminate effects of outliers sometimes, we may use logs. So it all depends on the nature of study and the importance of the decision that okay. So hello, थोड़ा busy जो section.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, I have stopped sharing.
Okay.
So I think my screen is not visible now.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Any other query question? Okay. So there is no more queries. So now let's start with SPSS demonstration. So Krishna sir,
Yes, sir.
are they having their own laptops, or they are doing a practice right now, or they are just listening uh, how we are going with this session?
So you do as per your wish. They have their own devices at their end, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. Then we may perform some analysis simultaneously. No issue there. Oh,
Okay.
very good. Thank you. So there is one response that, sir, we have laptops. Very good. So if you are carrying your laptop with you, I'm sharing my entire screen now. Hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So simply you need to search on Google SPSS software. We are going to see how can we install it. Sorry, SPSS software. So you may find the link from IBM SPSS statistics. Due to our security concern, as I have connected my laptop with Institute Wi-Fi, it is not allowing me to access this site at present, but you may go on this ibm.com. Just check if it allows. Okay, it is not allowing me. Okay. So you may visit this website ibm.com, and from there you may install a demo version. It may allow you to perform certain statistical tools for a week or 10 days, 12 days. I'm not sure at present for how many days they are allowing, but from this website you may download SPSS. Otherwise, there are some other options as well. Softonic, but I doubt whether they are providing us original or pirated version. So it is advisable to install SPSS from ibm.com only. Okay. It is a paid software. You need to pay for SPSS. A demo version is free up to certain days. So I hope you are having laptop with you. Today I am going to demonstrate. Once we collect our data in Excel sheet, I have also prepared one Excel sheet even test sample. Okay, so this is an Excel. The same we have used earlier at some other platform in some other workshop. This is a data set having values on how do you find this workshop, feedback on workshop. So there are various questions asked for your reference only. Have you ever exposed to research methodology or subject that was covered in that particular box? Have you ever exposed to SPSS earlier? Yes. And thereafter, a scale-based question was asked. Their responses were taken on a scale. Their responses were taken on a scale from 1 to 5. This is for your reference only. I am removing at present. Say, for example, we have asked them, how much are you aware? 1 is for very little aware, approximate up to 20%, somewhat aware, 21 to 40%, 3, partially aware, 41 to 60, enough aware to work, that is 61 to 80, and fully aware, that is 81 to 100%. It means in that particular question, on a particular topic, we have asked them a question and asked them to respond on 7 rating. 7 or 5, how many were there? 5 skills. Likewise, you may have 5 rating scale. Likewise, you may have your own skill ranging from 1 to 5 or 7 or 9, likewise. Okay. So these are various questions we have asked them, and at the end, their name, gender, name of the states, gender, and age group. So based on that survey, this data set is generated. Okay. So these are various questions that we have asked, starts from column number D. Now, if you wish to use this Excel file in your SPSS, if you have it, SPSS version, then you may. Otherwise, simply what you can do, you can choose it from the appropriate place जहां पे आपने रखा on your laptop. Right? So in my case, it may be in very deep. I don't know whether I could reach or not. Finally, so what I did, I have clicked on the open, and thereafter I have chosen the designated file, Excel file, by changing the extension given below. So if a particular Excel file has several sheets, then it may ask, otherwise it will take from the first sheet of the Excel. On clicking, you may find something has happened with SPSS. So what it has done, it has first given me the prompt in output window that this data set has been extracted and imported in the SPSS. Very interestingly, if you see earlier, this window was blank. Now you may find this window is filled with the data which is there in Excel. The same is here, right? So this is one of the ways you may import your data from from Excel to SPSS. So I may share this file with you if you wish to run a test. Krishnan sir, are you available?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, as you have asked me earlier as well, if anything I wanted to share, but at present, I think I should share this as many of them are using laptop. So I am sharing this file with you. You please share it on WhatsApp group, please. I hope it's possible.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to share this file?
You should just share me on WhatsApp, sir. I'll be sharing on their WhatsApp group, sir.
Okay, fine. So let me curtain some of the columns and rows so that it will not create trouble for our audience. Okay, meanwhile, may I know how many of you are actually demonstrating or actually doing hands-on with me on this platform? Please let me know through chat box. And once you find this file on your WhatsApp group, then please download it. So at the same time, you need to open SPSS file and Excel, right?
Sir, have you shared?
Yeah, I have shared with you, Krishnan sir.
No, sir. I haven't.
On WhatsApp. Oh, just a minute, let me check. Why I am connected with the link as well. There is some connection issue. I could not share. Mr. Krishna Kumar Shukla. Is this the same email ID you are operating right now?
Which one, sir?
Mr. Krishna Kumar Shukla. Uh, K. Shukla @Menon College.
Yeah. Same, correct, sir.
So I am sharing
At the rate
my.
menoncollege.edu.in, sir.
Yes. Okay, I have emailed you. So please check at your end. Okay, how many of you are using laptop right now? Please post in chat box.
Sir, I have shared, sir, on WhatsApp.
Okay. So I request audience to please download Excel file. And if you haven't installed SPSS, then you may visit ibm.com. Let me check now whether I can. Yes, now it's possible. Okay, as I have switched my network connection, now it's possible. I am sharing my entire screen. Okay, so when you click on ibm.com, you may find their web page. And from this web page, you may download Try SPSS Statistics for free. They'll ask some of your details. By filling up this detail, you will be directed towards download option, and then you install that version in your on your laptop. Okay. And those who are having it, you may try this once. So how many of you are doing with me? So you may have a blank spreadsheet of SPSS in front of you once you download it and open it. And I have shared this Excel file with you as well. We are going to take only sheet number 1. You may either delete this sheet number 2, or you may keep it as it is, but I advise you to please delete sheet number 2. So we have only first sheet available with us. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many columns? 21 columns. Okay. I hope everyone is doing this exercise and they are with me. So let's start. What we can do again, SPSS, click on this folder, open this, click will allow us to have another small window. Here in file types, you need to change the extension first that we want Excel. Once you change this extension or file type, locate the file, reach to the destination where you have placed the downloaded file, choose it, click on it, and click on open. When you click on open, new small dialog box will open. That is opening Excel data source. Keep everything as it is if you don't want to move to another sheets of Excel file. Here simply you need to click on OK. On clicking on OK, your data is now entered onto the spreadsheet of SPSS. Now, in this data, we have opinion captured at 2 different points of time. As you can see in first column, the first variable is pre-workshop, and down the column you may find post-workshop. It means some data captured before the workshop done and some data captured after the workshop has been completed. Thereafter, likewise, the data has been taken on several questions as I have shown you earlier, and then from states and all. Now, click on the variable view. In your variable view, you may find it has captured the questions label entirely in the column of label. So the first, as you can see here in data view, the first column is of opinion, where the opinion has been taken, pre-workshop or post-workshop. So it has captured that. Second, it is the first question, second question thereafter, that is, have you ever exposed to research methodology subject or workshop of law? So actually, if it's our question number 2, then we may rename it here like Q2, right? Then next Q3. So it will take it. But for an example, if I mention Q space 3, then it will not allow me to keep space. So variable name contains an illegal character type of message you may find on the screen. So appropriately, say for example, in question 4, you have asked rest of the statements on which you have obtained their feedback. Then if you have kept this question as a 4, then question 4a, question 4a, question 4b, question 4c, and so on. Likewise, you may rename it question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, by doing so, if we check the data view, then you may find the column labels have been changed. So here, our column labels are actually the names that we are keeping in SPSS variable views first column. Right? And again, it will not capture, or it will not allow us to have same name for two different columns. So for example, Q4 and Q4, if I want to keep, then it will not allow us to keep same. So that's why we need to choose unique names here, right? Question 4B, question 6E, and so on. You may do it by yourself. Now for the same, for example, first name. Now look at the second column, type. If you click on the first cell below this type heading, then you may find one option comes in. If you click on that option, it allows us to change the type of variable. As I have told you earlier, if we wish to use alphanumericals or alphabetics only, then you may keep it as a string, or if you have numbers, then you may keep it as number. As here, you can see response of my first question is in alphabetics pre-workshop. That's why automatically SPSS has considered it as string. But at any point of time, you may change this string to numeric even. But in case of string to numeric, if your data is non-numerical, then you may lose that particular data as well. Look at here. Automatically, it has taken string. If I want to keep it numeric, I have changed it numeric and click OK. So look at here. Simply, it changes from string to numeric for first response. Oh, sorry, first variable opinion. So if we look at this now in data view, then you may find opinion column is blank. Why it is blank? It is just because I have changed variable type from string to numeric. If any variable of string is converted into numeric, then you must take care that the data set of that particular column is of numeric in nature. Okay. So if I want to reverse it, let me check whether I can do yes. So by doing undo, I can again get back to my original version of the same. So that's why I'm not changing this type at present. Another one is with that I want to keep with my opinions that I want to keep, right? So with it's fine, no need to change. Decibel, obviously there is no decibel in string, so 0. And label, yes, one thing you need to take care that if your name is appropriate, then no need to have label separately for it. But then also if you wish to keep, then you may keep. Opinion, then opinion. If I want to write anything here, then I can. Time of opinion. Say for example, pre or post workshop. That were the options given to the respondents. Right? So question was time of opinion. Now you may reduce and expand the column by dragging this line. Okay. Okay, fine. Now values. When we click on value, again you may find one option pops up. If you click on that, then a small window pops up. As in my questionnaire, there were two options, time of opinion, pre-workshop and post-workshop. So one value I want to keep for pre-workshop. So what I did, I mentioned one in value. In label, I mentioned pre-workshop. When I click it, the value enters into this window. Two, I want to keep for post-workshop. And certainly it will come into this. But have my data sets or have my data or is there any chance that you have not taken your data or captured your data on code? You need to check. Right? So here from value, you can enter the value, but these values are only viable when your data set is having that same value. See, here you have mentioned pre-work, not the one, right? So that's why it is useless to use values for the first variable of our data set. So what we can do, simply look at here, what I can do, as I have labeled one for pre-workshop, that's why I'm going to replace these opinion into some numbers. Control. So for example, if I want to workshop with one, replace all. Pre-workshop controls. Pre-workshop with one. Oh. Okay, the format is custom. Number. Okay, fine. So here for this opinion, now you may find one. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you can see what I did. I have given code number 1 to pre-workshop. And same thing I'll do for this post-workshop. Post-workshop, I have given 2. So replace or choose. So before you enter your data actually on your SPSS, you have to code them. Likewise, I did here, right? And thereafter you can import it on SPSS. Okay, fine. See what I did. I have coded pre-work and post. Okay, pre-work and post workshop. Okay. So simply I have copied from there and I have posted here. So now see it's 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 1, 1. 1 is for pre-workshop. And from here, from here, you have okay. So up to 70, we have pre-workshop opinion, and after 70, we have post-workshop opinion. What I did, I have added, sorry, I have added values to the responses that I have captured on my survey. So pre-work 1, post-workshop 2. Okay. Now, if you wish to check whether it has taken correctly or not, here is one option you can see here. A and 1 is last 4 option in secondary view. If you click on here, look at the first column. It allows us to know whether which code we have used for which level. Okay. So this is how you can change value for your response. Okay. Now your data set may have some missing value. If no missing value, then it's fine. But if you have missing value, then it's very much advisable to address that issue at present. How can you do that? Simply, you need to click on first cell of, or the particular cell of the missing column. Click on this tab. If your values for missing value, whatever you want to mention for discrete missing value, usually we keep 0, or I prefer 0 as the missing value. So wherever for this particular question missing value is there, SPSS automatically puts 0. And this is for string variable. Okay. So now whenever you find missing value, you may find 0 or vice versa in this. But as we have seen in first, there is no missing value, so you don't find option of 0. Column, it's okay, no need to touch this. Okay, now second last column, measures. This is again important to define. See, when I click on this, it gives me 2 options only, ordinal and nominal. It is just because, okay, before that, if I click here, it gives me 3 options. See, scale, ordinal and nominal. But it is not so in case of my first selfie. It gives me only ordinal and nominal. It is just because it depends on the second column. If you choose string as the type of variable, it allows you to choose from either ordinal or nominal. Okay. But when you choose numeric as your variable type, it allows you to choose from scale, ordinal, or nominal option. Okay. So now can anyone tell me that our first question, that is opinion, time of opinion, pre-workshop and post-workshop, it is ordinal in nature or nominal in nature? What should I select? Okay. Nominal is the option in the chat box. Response. Can I consider it as ordinal? As it shows a particular time, that one point of time to the next point of time. Can I consider it as ordinal scale? Yes, there is no ranking. That's why we may take nominal. That is true. But here, the decision of the scale is totally dependent on the nature of analysis we want to perform. If you want to show is there any progress over the period of time or not, and in that if you have captured day wise, then on time lag you may consider this data as ordinal. Otherwise, here we want to check only both the time portions change, right? That's why here we may consider it as a nominal scale. It's fine. Okay. Question 2. Have you ever exposed to research methodology workshop or subject prior to this workshop? And here again, if you see data view, that for question number 2, the responses are taken on yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. If I wish to change this, then look at from the very beginning, question 2, I want to keep it as string with 33 is fine, decimal 0, no need to change. This is the exact question that we have asked in the questionnaire. The same is that now in value label, I need to change. I may keep 1 as yes and 2 as no, or vice versa. Even it will not going to affect any of my analysis. But as I have changed yes, no here, I need to make sure that the same thing here, yes and no, should be replaced with its code, right? So I can replace from here as well. If I don't want to go to SPSS, then again it's fine. So say for example, if I want to replace my years with 1, replaces, it has replaced 129 responses from that particular column only. See what I did, I have selected this column entirely first and then Control F, the same command, in that replace, find Y, that is yes, replace it with 1. Next for no, again, from the very beginning, so for example, if I want to replace here, then select the entire column, Control F, choose replace, write down no, and for no, I want to use code 2. Then replace all. 17 nodes are there. Okay, close it. So here your column number 2 is also coded. If I want to check, then I can check with this option, last 4 in second beginning. If you click on it, on first click, it allows you to have option, and on second click, it allows you to show codes. Fine. So this is for variable. Same missing, you make it discrete 0 and scale nominal. You may have same for number 3 as well. नंबर 3 आप लोग ट्राई करें, प्लीज ट्राई at your end. I hope you are doing this exercise with me. Okay. Now there is one more thing. As in my earlier demonstration, I have showed you that if you change this variable type from string to numerical in case of alphabetics, you may lose your value. But as I have already coded them, so let me check whether this time, if I change the type from string to numeric, will it allow me to have that particular variable or not? So I have changed it. Now look at the option. In column 2, I have the same numbers and its label is also there. Okay. So this is the difference between choosing the type of variables, whether string or numeric. Same thing will happen for first as well. Okay. So in this case, again, you may find numbers are there, no loss of data, and even with the click of this button, you may get to know about what type of labels you have chosen for which type of codes. Okay, so far any doubt? So I request all of you, I want to have 2-3 minutes break. Meanwhile, you may post queries in the chat box, and those who have not installed SPSS or performed this exercise up to this point means number 2, defining its value. You please do it. I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope you have performed the task as per the current status of mine as well. Okay. So we have seen how to enter our data into SPS spreadsheet, and thereafter how can we modify variable name, type, even their labels, values, missing values, and later on measures. Now, if you look at the fourth question, we have asked, look at the question that okay, fine. Here is the question. The question goes like this. Please read this carefully and respond. After attending 7 days workshop, how much are you aware of the following aspects? So these are the common words, right? Up to this, please. Okay, please tick on given scale. Scale is again given with the question. 1, very little. 2, somewhat aware. 3, 4,